Marvel Studios has heard the negative feedback for Thor Love and Thunder. We officially know Taika Waititi, the director of Ragnarok and Love and Thunder, will not be coming back, and brand new reports are saying that Thor is getting a complete creative and character reboot in his next installment. Expect this to be a departure from everything we've seen. The first Thor film was considered realistic and sort of safe, much like they try to do with the early DCEU films. You ground it, you make this darker palette that it has that's kind of recognizable as serious, and you see what happens. Thor the Dark World, tripled down on that, and nobody liked it because the film was also super rushed. So, at that time, that was considered the worst Thor film. Ragnarok came out, they flipped the script upside down, made it more comedic, more funny, more bright, went way more Steve Ditko and Jack Kirby, and some people love it, other people said, go back to the darker ways. Thor Love and Thunder, like the second film in the series, just said, why don't we quadruple down on everything that's bright, funny, humor, and nonsensical? And like the second film, it was hated. So is it at all surprising that we're hearing that Thor is in for a complete creative reboot? They don't want it to be like any of the 4 films that we've gotten so far. So here's where I start to question everything. If you tried the super serious, super grimdark, hey, here's your thing, and it didn't work, and you tried the super bright, funny, colorful, slapstick shtick thing, what else can you do? Especially with this character that people now expect to go one way or another. Like, in my opinion, I would make this a straight-up Norse-style, mythological, Lord of the Rings style, give us 2.5, 3 hours of, my god, this is a Thor fantasy story. But I know Marvel Studios isn't going to do that. They're not going to do that. They got to make a crowd-pleasing summer blockbuster. So, what do? That's my big question. And why Thor? Are we at diminishing returns? Is the next Thor film going to turn off a lot of people and they're going to sink $250 million into it like Love and Thunder and expect $1 billion, but this creative reboot isn't exactly what people want and it does like 600, 500, and it's technically a failure? Like, Thor to me has never been a character that I'm always like, yeah, I can't wait to see this. I see it because I'm like, well, I got to talk about it, and it's a Marvel movie, and like DC movies, I'm just going to see it by principle, right? Because I'm a fan of those universes. But to me, what do you do? How do you creatively reboot Thor? Thank God I'm not coming up with this, because I would be like, yeah, just retire him, or reboot Jane Foster so she's not botched. Like, I don't know, guys. How do you feel about this? Because let's be clear, Thor 5 has to be a creative reboot. But how?